What is up, you guys? It is Jess, and in this video I decided to take another crack at kind of doing a review. I'm super late on this one, but this has been one of my favorite albums of 2017. It is The Peace and the Panic by Neck Deep. Now, this has to be one of the most anticipated albums of 2017. When it was announced that it was going to be released, pretty much the entire fandom was just overjoyed and super excited for it, and the band started to release songs from this album around the time that they were on Warped Tour, and then after Warped Tour was over, the entire album itself came out. And what was really cool was seeing the new songs on stage and mixed in with the old songs. I actually got to see Neck Deep perform at Warped Tour St. Pete down in Florida. Absolutely amazing show, amazing crowd. Got to meet Danny, drummer, with his clothing line, Rain Supply. Super down to earth, took a selfie with him. So some of my favorite tracks off of this album has to be In Bloom, Motion Sickness, and 1970 something. So I chose those three specific songs. One, In Bloom, is an absolutely amazing song, and the video that they released with it was full of pastel colors, and just it is an amazing song. It's a beautiful song, and I really think that lead singer Ben really captures his vocals on that track, and it has become one of my favorite Neck Deep tracks probably ever. Granted, it is a little more laid back than some of the other ones. It has become one of my favorites, and that's why I kind of added Motion Sickness in there too, because it does have the pop punk vibes that I was looking for, and it kind of goes back to Life's Not Out to Get You with all that pop punk vibes, and it really is an amazing track off of this album. And I really love 1970 something because it tells a story. It tells a story of Ben Bartlow's father, Terry, who unfortunately passed away around the time that they were recording and writing this album. And honestly, it's a beautiful song. It pretty much tells a story of Ben's, parents meeting and them growing up and having a family, and then ultimately it does end up, the lyrics do end up talking about Terry's untimely death, but it's an absolutely amazing song, and I love it. And honestly, it is one of the more sad songs off of this album, but it definitely has become one of my favorites, and I think it's just because music can tell a story, and this song does a really, really great job with that. So Neck Deep kind of did something different with this album. They have a song called Don't Wait, which features vocals with Sam Carter from Architects. Those of you who don't know, Architects are a super heavy band, and it really, really comes out in Don't Wait. It's really cool to have Ben's clean vocals and then Sam come in and just scream his head off pretty much, but he does it so well on this song, and I think Neck Deep really, really did a great job with choosing Sam Carter for that song. So around the time that Warped Tour was going on, they had released, I believe it was 2 or 3 songs off of this album. I believe they released Where Do We Go When We Go and Happy Judgment Day. I think those are the 2 songs that they released off of this album, and it was kind of cool because their setup was kind of like the kind of cover picture. It was kind of on the flag in the background, kind of the banner, and it was really cool because, The Peace and the Panic, when you think about it, it's kind of a split between good and evil. What I really like about this is when they released In Bloom, the kind of little bit at the beginning is talking about the drop of an atomic bomb, and they really captured the front of the album cover because it's very black and white, but it kind of tells a story within itself, even on the inside. And honestly, I love this album. I don't know if I love it more than Life's Not Out to Get You. That is an absolutely amazing album, but I do think that I do believe The Peace and the Panic was a really, really, really great step for Neck Deep. You can definitely tell that some things had changed a little bit. I believe they officially added guitarist Sam Bowden to this album and to their actual lineup. I don't believe he was actually credited on the last album, so it was really, really cool for him to finally be a part of the band and actually kind of be a permanent member. With this album, they came with holographic trading cards, and the one that I got was lead singer Ben Barlow, and he just kind of adorable, but it's really cool because it's even got like kind of little stats on the back. See if you can see it. I'm really, really late on this album, and honestly, I'm not too worried about it, but this album was pretty much one of my most anticipated ones, along with Paris's All We Know of Heaven, All We Need of Hell. That is an absolutely amazing album as well. Those were kind of the two that I was expecting this year, and I also pretty much got into other albums that I didn't think that I would. I'm super into Stan Atlantic's EP Sidewinder. That has become pretty much the soundtrack of my life right now. And I also got into Rome, surprisingly, another band that I got into, and their brand new album, Great Heights and Nosedives. It's absolutely amazing, and honestly, 2017 has just been packed with really, really great music. Crazy 88 just released their Volume 2 covers the other day. That is absolutely amazing. I highly recommend you check that out. Yeah, so The Peace and the Panic, I highly recommend you check it out. It is one of my favorite Neck Deep records. Granted, I love Life's Not Out to Get You. I definitely think that The Peace and the Panic is an amazing, amazing album, and honestly, you can definitely tell that Neck Deep worked their tails off to make such a great album. If I had to, I don't really like putting labels on these albums as I review them. If I had to, I would give The Peace and the Panic anywhere between like an 8.5 to a 9. It's not quite a 10 for me, but it's definitely up there. Life's Not Out to Get You is definitely around a solid 9 for me, just because it's got a variation of different songs that I really, really love. I loved more songs off Life's Not Out to Get You than I did Peace and the Panic, but Peace and the Panic, with the songs that I do like, they are absolutely amazing, and honestly, I was super excited for this album, and Neck Deep definitely brought it in a totally unexpected way, and I really, really think this is an amazing album for them. Check out The Peace and the Panic, latest release by Neck Deep that came out back in August. I highly recommend you check it out if you haven't already, and if you haven't, what are you waiting on? Because it's an amazing album, especially if you love pop punk. It's definitely got a little bit mix of everything. It's got some heavy, it's got some clean, it's got a whole lot of everything, and I highly recommend you check it out. It's definitely one of my favorite records of this year, and I can't wait to see what's to come with Neck Deep. So, if there's nothing else, I'm Jess. See you later.